So Nils, welcome to Manchester City and congratulations on the new role. Director of Football for the women's team. Could you just quickly describe what your new role is going to involve?
A lot of things, but I would say there are three key elements and it's about building on the strategy that already exists and see if we can connect some dots, but it will be mainly in the staff area, also with the squad player pathway, but also talent ID and the whole thing with the academy. So it's a little bit of everything, but it's the football part. And then Gavin will take care of the rest.
Yeah, you mentioned Gavin there. What sort of conversations have you had with him so far, and also with the coaching staff as well, and Gareth Taylor?
Oh, some very good ones. It has all been very positive, and I think the whole idea of bringing someone in to take care of the football side it's going to be it's something everybody is looking forward to. So of course I feel very, very welcome, and especially with Gavin, he's been also made a big effort to actually make me feel welcome. So it has been extremely pleasant to be here and talk to all the very knowledgeable and very kind people.
That's good to hear. In a way as well, you've talked about how you can build on the strategy that's already in place, but as this being a new role, does that also give you a chance to mould it and shape it how you see fit as well?
I think my impression is that I am also here because I am sort of a free thinker. So I have some ideas, but of course it has to be run through so it fits with everything. It's not something I just decide by myself. It's something we do together, because it might just be me that thinks it's a good idea and then it's not going to work. So of course we will discuss things along the way, but I feel like, there's going to be elements that we didn't see yet that will fit into my role also.
And a little bit more about you and your experience in football. You're obviously a hugely experienced coach as well at club and international level. So why do you feel now's the right time to make that move into a directorial role rather than looking at the coaching side of things?
It's about making a difference, actually, because for me it's about working with people. If you're the head coach, you have a lot of responsibility every time the team is playing. But for me it has always been, the whole development part that has been the driver for me. And that is also part of winning on Sunday, because you need the wins to develop also. But for me, it's about the people. It's about developing the game. It's about now developing the club to be that, to fill out that ambition that they want to be pioneers. And that was one of the things where I was thinking, this is just right for me.
Yeah, we were talking off camera and you said that mindset is one of the most important things. You can be the best player in the world, but if your mind isn't in the right place, then you're not going to achieve that potential. So that side of things away from the pitch is obviously really important to you and your philosophy of football.
Precisely.
Yeah. You also studied sports physiology, I believe, in your youth. Can you just tell us a bit about what that involves and how it's maybe benefited you in your career to date?
Well, it benefited me because I was, before it became like a big thing, we were doing a lot of research and using data to back up the things we were doing and the decisions we made. I knew that data alone cannot do it for you. You still have to trust the feelings you have inside and trust yourself in making the correct decisions. But if you can back it up with something concrete, it's much easier also to develop the players, because it is there, black and white. It doesn't lie. Numbers doesn't lie, but they can be interpreted in many different ways. So there, the whole scientific beginning I had was very helpful, I would say. But I think also because I knew that it was not going to do it alone.
And winding the clock even further back, you were born with quite a serious back problem, weren't you? And I believe doctors told you that you couldn't play football, but you persevered and did a lot of exercises to be able to do that. But having that setback so early on in your life, has that maybe adapted and changed your outlook on football and made you look at it from a wider perspective than maybe just as a player?
You know, I love the game. And of course, if I could have played, I would. But once it became too hard when I was not a youth player anymore, it was too difficult. But up until then, it only benefited me because I got the game under the skin. I was playing at the highest youth level. So, but I never really had the ambition to be the best player in the world. So I knew I did it for other reasons. And very early on, when I stopped playing myself, I think I was 19 or 20, I decided to go the coaching way even before. I took all the coaches diplomas that I could when I was very young. And I got a special dispensation from the Danish FA, so I could do the A course when I was 20 years old. And that's not normal, but I could because I already had experience.
That's a lot of pressure to take on as a young person at that point to sort of push towards a coaching role at that level as well.
Yeah, I never really thought about it as pressure. It was so much fun, and I spoke the language of the players because in the beginning I was 20. I was coaching 17-year-olds in the best league in Denmark, and it was a lot of fun. Yeah. And but I could relate to them because I was not that much older. And when I was growing up, I was the sort of person always speaking my mind. So I was always captain, so they anyway would listen to me. So I didn't really see it as pressure. I saw it as something I enjoyed doing. So I've been working in football so long, never really had something that I would consider a work day where you are so, miserable when you come home because why am I doing this? I never had that. So I think I have been lucky, so I actually see this whole thing with my back as a blessing and not a problem.
Yeah. And just one more on your achievements so far in football. You've obviously guided Denmark to a runners-up spot at Euro 2017. Would you say that's one of your best achievements as a coach, taking a squad that, yes, had a lot of talent in it, but got a lot further than maybe a lot of people thought at the time?
Yeah, I think we surprised a lot of people, but not ourselves. But it's not really, it was a lot of fun, and it was the biggest game, you can play. We played in the final. But for me, the biggest achievements is when one of the girls, after 2 years not talking, we sort of lost contact, calls me one day and tells me that she just wanted to tell me that those things I told her years ago when she was playing in my team, she got it now, and she can really see what a difference it makes for her. Then I'm happy. Yeah. That's what it's all about. When you work with people, is to try and make a difference for them so they can improve on what they improve and maybe achieve their dreams. That is what I want to do, and that is why I'm here now.
Yeah, I was going to say this position maybe gives you that opportunity to push that even further.
Precisely.
Yeah. Looking at the team this season, it's been a successful season so far. Hopefully a title push towards the end of the season. But what have your thoughts been on how things have gone so far this year?
I think the team has played really well. I think they have weapons that can make it very hard for the other teams to beat them. And so it's not missing that much. You can say many of the players have the perfect age right now, so, and then the others are a bit younger. So it's not a team that needs to change a lot. It just needs to grow, and then there should be a chance of winning some titles again.
Absolutely. Is there anything specific or in particular that you really like about the team that you maybe noticed?
I like their attitude on the pitch, especially the last couple of games I saw, how they approach the game. They really believe in themselves and that they can win. And that's the first criteria, because if you don't, it's just a question how much you're going to lose.
Yeah, very good point. And on the flip side as well, from your experience and expertise, is there anything that you think you can bring that will make an immediate improvement on an area? Even if it's already a 9 out of 10, how could you maybe make it a 10 out of 10?
Well, I can bring the things that I can bring, that I will not be coaching them. That will be Gareth, and he's doing a very good job on that. But what I can bring is perhaps some human side, a human side that can make the feeling even better than it is right now for the players. And if you feel comfortable, if you feel good, chances are that you are also going to perform better. But that has nothing to do with special things on the pitch that should be, in my opinion, corrected. I will leave that to the coach.
Absolutely. You mentioned as well that it's a young squad. There's a low average age, a lot of hunger with experience, important experience as well. You also mentioned that one of your main roles will be around the youth team and youth setup. Can you just quickly go into detail about sort of what influence you'll have on that side of things for the club?
Yeah, I think it's more about getting things in line, because actually the foundation is very, very good. There is everything here. So I think my role is to make sure that we do it in a way so everybody is aware of what's going on, and the left hand knows what the right hand is doing and stuff like that. And so it's more like connecting the dots with that, and also perhaps support Jayne in developing even further the system.
Absolutely. And there's examples in the first team now, Esme Morgan, Jess Park, who's having a really successful loan spell at Everton, to name just 2 examples of players who've worked through the system and are now getting that opportunity. Yeah,
but if the girls have the mindset to go through the academy here, they're going to be good.
Yeah, very true. Moving on to sort of your general outlook at what you think makes a successful club. It's quite an abstract question, so apologies in advance, but what do you feel makes a successful club? What sort of specific aspects do you think is needed for that success?
I think you need to be very aware that you can never copy. You need to find your own way. And here again, I think my impression is that when you always want to be pioneers, you're not afraid of trying to change something even if it's going well, then you have all the chances to grow. So I think the most important thing for the club is to actually never be, you can be happy but not satisfied. You still want to develop, you still want to do new things, because the second you stop doing that and you sit back and say, hey, now things are working for us, then everybody else is going to overtake you again. That is going to be the key to building also further on and also be successful.
Absolutely. And focusing on the recruitment side of things that you mentioned was another role that you're kind of going to be helping with. Without obviously giving too much away, how are yourself and Gareth Taylor and the coaching staff going to be working together to maybe look for a certain profile of player moving forward?
I think the process that is existing already, how to monitor players and stuff like that is already very good. But of course, it's going to be helpful to have another set of eyes with experience, and I can add some of that to what is already there, because the whole setup with how they collect information about the players, how they scout them and stuff is actually working quite well. But it is also about making sure that you don't just grab the one that has a good game. I mean, the one that is up in the media right now. You need to look a bit beyond that and see what is actually needed to be a City player. What is it that squad needs? And of course here, head coach is key, but the whole performance section of it is also going to be very, very important there, because yes, it needs to be data-based, who we are picking, but also they need to fit with their personality in the group, because sometimes if you bring in a star player and you don't really look at that side of things, you just think, okay, she scores 20 goals every season, and then all of a sudden she doesn't. Why is that? Maybe it was the wrong fit. and they're personality-wise, and it may cause some problems in the group or stuff like that. So there are many things that need to be connected. So that we will work on to find the perfect setup for it. But right now it's actually working quite well. Yeah. It has been good players that has been brought in, even if it wasn't at the time big names. They are big names now.
Yeah, it's a good way of looking at it, that long-term vision. The way you were talking then, it strikes me that while performance and ability is obviously really, really important in recruitment, that idea of personality, mindset, fitting the players that were already here, bringing the best out of themselves and the players around them is a major focus of our strategy when it comes to looking for new players.
Precisely, because if you bring in a player that can make everybody 10% better, then it's not only getting a good player in, it's also making the whole team better. And there you need to look at it slightly different. You cannot only look at performance, you also have to look at the potential, and you have to look at the fit in the team. What do we have, which kind of personalities, because you have to fit it all. So if you have only one type of player and one type of personality, you are missing something. So it needs to be balanced. And there, when I get to know the players better, I will also know a bit more and can answer a bit more specific about what type we need in the team and what is already there.
Yeah, absolutely. There's obviously a World Cup this summer, and then it'll be a swift turnaround to the new season. So how important do you think it is, obviously in an ideal world, to get business done as early as possible in the window to let the squad gel and those players get used to things?
I think it is very important to, if possible, to make sure the players that are already here feels good when they leave. And that means that they know what they're going to do after the summer. Yeah. So renewal of contracts is actually more important than bringing in new players. Because, like I said, the squad is there. There's great players here already. But yes, it's time is running as we speak. So we need to get the things done as fast as possible, but mainly with the players that are already here. If you can keep the players here, and I assume when they are performing well, the tendency is that they are also quite happy. So why not continue? Because the potential in the squad is there. The club is amazing. So why shouldn't they want to stay? But they also need to know that we want them to stay.
Absolutely. And looking more generally about Manchester as a city, I know you've had the chance to be here for a couple of days. What have you thought of the city? Have you enjoyed it so far?
Very. It's very similar to where I come from. Even the weather. It's for me a very, very nice and welcoming city when you come. I mean, people are very open and you can talk to anyone also at the hotel. That's great.
Yeah. I understand you're obviously a big music fan as well. Am I right in thinking you were in a band as well? Or have I that wrong?
When I was in school, yes.
Right.
But it's a long time ago.
Yeah. Well, Manchester's got a really big music scene, so there's obviously a massive opportunity to get out and about.
I never thought about that, but that could be if I would have some free time, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, you never know. Could learn Blue Moon, maybe. And just finally as well, more specifically at the City Football Academy and around here, what have you thought of the facilities that are available to our players and our staff?
Like I said before, you don't get it much better than this. Everything is here. And you have all the chances as a player to develop yourself. You can also choose to say, hey, this is great, I reached my target, and then it's not going to work for you. You're not going to play more than a couple of games probably. But again, if you have the desire to be here and can see all the good sides, then it doesn't get much better. But of course, you still have to develop things all the time. And I know that there are lots of things coming, lots of changes that has already been agreed on, and it's all improvements. So yes, it's going to continue to grow, and that just makes me even more excited.
Yeah, an exciting future ahead.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, Nils, thank you so much for your time today, and congratulations on the role, and best of luck with everything as well.
Thank you.